I was just listening to Richard Dawkins make salient points, going, hey, why don't we? And he's a very intelligent man, but he's an atheist. He does not believe in Elohim or the Son. And I want to start with that today and talk about that. You know, as they said in one video, he exploded. I've never seen Richard Dawkins explode in anger or foolishly and speak as a child. He's always in de rigueur, the strength of intellect, and brings points that need to be addressed. And with that, I would like to mention some realities that are in play. First of all, we have to deal with what is. Okay, step one. Does Israel exist? Okay, isn't that a very foolish question? Before 48, and for about 1,800 years before, they, as a nation, that is, did not exist. And in 1940, at that time, or any time before, will Israel exist again? Do they exist? Well, they're scattered. They're in the diaspora. They know this. Their nation is no more. Their language is dead. They're just here. And it is unlikely that they'll ever be a nation again. That would have been the predominant, except in the Christian community and in those of the faith of Abraham, would have been the thought. They're gone. It's over. Dead. No more. But however, what happened in 1948 after World War II, and previous to that in the late 19th century? Well, one, Hebrew, the language, was revived. Wow, how timely. About 53 years before the nation was restored, the language is resurrected. Look it up. When Hebrew was reestablished. So we have this great awakening of the Jews to Hebrew again. And the letters and the language that they had basically left behind after they were scattered throughout the world. The Assyrians took them out, and it was it. They were done. So that was Israel, and then Judah fell a few hundred years later, not too far after that, Judah and Benjamin. So these countries were gone. No more. Judah disappeared. Israel disappeared. It was done. Until 1948. Why did the nation come back? Why did they feel that they needed their nation again? They were in different countries. They didn't have to start Israel again. But who did? Britain. The Balfour Accord, I believe it was. Check me on that. And they delineated the boundaries, and all the Palestinians and everybody were in shock. They're going, no, this is our nation. However, you have to see that the word of Elohim and the Son are predominant and will be executed and will be done. And with that, Israel moved back and became a nation with a ruling body, a prime minister, and they became a sovereign nation again, against all thought of the world and anybody who had any inkling that it might happen. They would say, I don't know when that will happen. It just can't be. So, the reason it happened is because Elohim made this to be for the last days. Because Israel is predominantly set as a nation in the last days, but also the Israel of Elohim, of the Spirit. For it is not those who are physically the sons of Abraham, but those of the spirit and of the heart, who are the true, as he says, ruling body of Jews. Because the ruling body of Israel was Judah. That's where the kings came through. That's where all royalty today says they are delineated from. The Scots, delineated from what? Israel, they say. Look at their document dating back to 1090 or 11, I don't know, when they describe themselves in their document, in their independence there. So, we're talking about the realities of history, the reality that we deal with. If Israel exists, the word is true. Why? Because it says what's going to happen, and it happens, whether you believe it or not. Pretty strong statement. But the Father says, my counsel will stand. I will do my pleasure, and it will be as I state. And you cannot overcome him. The New World Order is but a spit in his face that he will wipe away, and like a dish, clean it and trash it and throw it out. Because they hate him and would not have him as their king. Therefore, he will not be their king and judge them sufficiently for their error. Is that wrong? Do you, in your mind, judge the Father and say, like Dawkins, you ought to see what he says about him, about the Bible and his judgments and things. However, he, nor I, nor anybody totally understands. We get a little bit of understanding in Genesis about why the Father does that in the fallen angels who came to women and had children by them. People don't believe that. But it says it happened, and that the results were giants, and then we find giants. Bones of giants, they suppress it because it supports what does say the Bible. Then we have the giant of Kandahar recently, which the military in 2002, United States, had to kill because one of their patrols met that Nephilim, and he killed them all and ate their flesh. Pretty much how it is. Anybody that has Nephilimic blood, could be true, they're giants, will be dealt with. When the Father came into an area in which they had that type of thing, you had to wipe them all out because their blood and their hearts were infected by rebellion and the rebellion of the angels. Sounds crazy, but truth is stranger than fiction amongst men. But yet men come up with strange, fictitious creatures all the time. And they put in the movies. Some of those movies may be reflections of what is true. At least not now, but maybe in the future. So, what are we to do? What's the answer to anybody's questions like Dawkins, who I respect him. He is a bright, energetic, well-founded, settled, and honorable person as far as his life. And I don't hate him because he doesn't believe. I want him to see and understand that this is true. But the Savior said, to whom it is given, it is given. So do not hate them because I am in control. And then you begin to understand the only reason you believe is because he gave it to you. It isn't a question of what you believe, it's to whom is given to believe. So we are not to hate them because we are of them. We come from them and are them, except by the grace of the Most High Elohim. We are destroyed for our lack of understanding, just like them. If your child rebels and acts bad and they go out there, you don't hate them, although some parents have done that. But you hate what they do, but you love them and let them know you do not reject them. Let us not reject our brothers and sisters, Richard Dawkins or anything. Hear them out, but answer them truly. And with knowledge and understanding, not with vitriol and stupidity. There's a lot of that goes around and people get angry. If you follow the Spirit, it says the Spirit brings not anger, hate, division. And if you do those things, you're not in the Spirit. So you should then stop. If you're starting to get angry, in any case, studying and teaching and talking about the Bible or its belief, leave the room if you're angry. Because then you're not speaking for Him. You're only speaking your disdain of your fellow human for not accepting your understanding of truth. The Father will test you with this. Your heart will be tested. And you must always say, I am not it. I am not the most intelligent. I am not the most loquacious. Oh, can be. That means speaking many words. Loquacious, look it up. But we must, as a people, recognize that division is wrong. Congress that stokes division, the party system which stokes division, is archaic and is used by Satan to break down what? Communication and understanding and reasonable accommodation, which is what we are as believers to do. Live and let live basically comes from Jewish ideas that, hey, they're going that way, they're the Goyim, or they're this person, or this Jew that doesn't believe in our Creator and Elohim. Live and let live. Be there. I disagree with you, but I will respect you and will protect you and be kind to you with my manners and heart and mind, and will not disdain you. Because I, like you, I'm human. We all make mistakes. We all fail. You know, the most important thing now to get on is that we're coming into the days of Noah, which things are going to get worse with the world, with how the earth is going, because the earth fights against us, and the Father uses it to judge rightly. When people die, it's His right to take life because He gives it. And He doesn't do it arbitrarily. He knows who are His and who are not, who will come, who will not. And if He decides to judge and people die, He is not wrong. Because He controls the storm, the earthquakes, and, you know, He can prevent anything He wants to stop. And He protects His people. And we're no better than the rest of you. He has to clean us up because we're just like you. Now, in these things, a lot of people ignore the Spirit. They consider UFOs, for example, to be from other planets. They are not. They're inner Earth beings. They are from Earth, and they hide out in forests. They're everywhere. And they can appear or not, dependent on the Father. The Father doesn't let them engage as they would wish maybe to engage us. And when you hear strange things, and I've been through some that happen, don't disbelieve, especially your children. You listen, because they may be telling you something that really happened and you think it's a childish mind, and it might be a reality, and they need your support. These rituals that we do that point to the Father are made to guide us to the spiritual truth by which we're born. Everything is spiritual, not physical. We have the physical, but that will not stand. It will be done away with. It's going to be. I'm not quoting Scripture. I take it from Scripture. And if you doubt me, you read through the whole Bible yourself and point me wrong, and I will bow to the Word.